the greenhouse gas reduction fund. You have made some wild, untrue, and reckless statements to justify your illegal freezing of these funds. Simple question, have you had a chance to read it?
Is that the one that was written by a former Biden administration official?
Is it woke to protect people from wildfires and heat stroke?
I don't know if you're going to get anyone in America to answer yes to the way you put that question out there.
Since you are violating both the law and the Constitution, will you follow your oath? And if you can't follow your oath, will you resign from your office?
We couldn't possibly disagree more strongly with what you're saying. What I do believe is would be illegal is for me to play along where I'm seeing unqualified recipients getting funding.
And that's EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin with a testy exchange during yesterday's budget hearing before the House Appropriations Subcommittee. Joining us right now is the man himself, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, with me here once again. Lee, it's great to see you. We so appreciate it. I'm not sure where they were going with that. I mean, like, if you want to talk about protecting people from wildfires, let's look at some of the failed policy in California. Okay? What just happened? Can you tell us what happened in that hearing and lay out your rebuttal?
At the Trump EPA, we choose to both protect the environment and grow the economy. We're not going to choose between the two. When President Trump was wrapping up his 100th day in office, we put out a list of 100 environmental actions that we accomplished in the first 100 days of the Trump presidency, and we're going to continue that pace. As you point out with the Los Angeles wildfires, when President Trump came into office, he signed an executive order saying that EPA, within 30 days, needed to complete our hazardous material removal phase 1 so that Army Corps could come in for their debris removal in phase 2. And the first response was that there was no way we were going to get it done. We actually got it done in just under 30 days. If you look at the actual actions that we're pursuing, yes, we're looking for ways to make sure that we're unleashing energy dominance and pursuing permitting reform and making America the AI capital of the world and advancing cooperative federalism. But we're not losing sight of our core mission and helping to deliver clean air, land, and water for all Americans. We don't have to choose between the two.
Right. And how are you doing that in a smaller budget? You know, you're trying to cut out waste while also adhering to these principles of safety as well as growth.
On the operational side, first thing was ending COVID-era remote work, getting people back in the office, and then looking for efficiencies in the way that we were spending money. One big way was with regards to the grants that were going out. The operational budget for EPA is about $10 billion a year. In the first 100 days of the Trump presidency, we canceled $22 billion worth of grants. We're also pursuing real estate consolidations and more in order to save tax dollars. We have a zero-tolerance policy at the Trump EPA towards wasting even a penny of tax dollars. On the policy side, we're going through now what will amount to the largest deregulatory action in the history of the country. It's going to be one agency, 1 year, doing more deregulation than entire federal governments across all agencies have accomplished across entire presidencies. That's how much of a mess it was that we inherited from the Biden administration, and we want to fix everything.
Yeah, and you know, President Trump has made the right point that out of all of his policies, deregulation could actually be the most impactful. You've proposed, Lee, rolling back the federal incentives which forced automatic engine start-stop systems into millions of Americans' cars. And I want to ask you about this because I know this, you know, in the whole sphere of, you know, deregulation, it's not necessarily a huge one, but it's something that people are bothered by. Tell us about this.
Right. That's a very important point. How many Americans are bothered by it? How many Americans hate it? How many Americans are scratching their head wondering why in 2012 the Obama EPA signed off on this off-cycle credit to incentivize car manufacturers to make these vehicles shut down when you hit the red light? And while you might come out with some study that shows a little bit of savings related to gas, Well, there are a lot of people wanting to know what kind of damage is this causing to my starter? What kind of damage does this cause to my engine? And there are a lot of Americans who just don't want to have to, every time they start their vehicle, need to deal with this feature. They actually wonder why they can't just, if the feature exists, say no once, and every time they start their car, they won't have to turn the feature off. So Americans hate it. And if there's one good reason for the federal government to act, if you are heeding the calls and the demands of the American public, if this is truly a republic, we hear that hatred, we feel it, we want to do something about it.
Yeah, well, I also want to talk about your efforts for safety. And that's really important because you just said you can do both. You can ensure that you're protecting the environment while also zeroing in on economic growth. The EPA announced that you're going to keep the maximum contaminant levels for forever chemicals known as PFAs or PFOs. These chemicals can affect drinking water. They stay in the human body forever. You're also providing regulatory flexibility to address this issue. What do you want to say about these contaminants and why you're taking this posture?
This was an effort that during the first Trump administration, we started to go down at EPA, and PFOA and PFOS had a maximum contaminant level of 4 parts per trillion that were set. And what we're hearing as we're going through the confirmation process from members of Congress and local drinking water systems is that while they want to be able to address it and come into compliance, they can't hit it by the deadline in the regulation, so they're looking for compliance flexibility. Simultaneously, there are all sorts of companies that are now pushing new treatments. So hopefully these local water systems, when cleaning it up, are now going to be able to do it at less cost. So we want to make sure that we're protecting water quality. President Trump talks about cleaner, safer, healthier water for all Americans. But we also want to make sure that these local water systems are able to hit these targets. Also, we want to address something called passive receivers. When a local water system has to bear the brunt of the cost, and they pass it off to the consumer, then Americans have to pay to clean up their own water. We need to address that, too.
Well, I mean, you are cleaning up such an incredible mess from the climate change agenda. Lee Zeldin, we so appreciate your time this morning. We're following your important work. Thank you, sir.